Hi, I welcome you all to my YouTube channel, Reviving Mind. And this channel is dedicated to solve the major issues the psychology student face. And one of the major issue I have faced is the segregation of information. Okay, for one topic of psychology, you want to gather the information, you have to visit various platforms, and you don't have the information at one place. Okay, so through this channel, I'm just trying to give you a comprehensive understanding of a particular topics of psychology. And from today onwards, I'm starting this. And the first topic we are taking is your sensation and perception. Okay, so perception is very important, very important part of psychology, because various later on you will find that when you study higher studies in psychology, various disorders in psychology, various psychological disorders based on the false perception also. Okay, so in order to understand those disorders, in order to understand the causes, you just know the basic idea. Okay, what is perception, and to understand the perception you have to understand from the scratch, that is what is sensation. Okay, so sensation and perceptions are two words here, but I'll start from the sensation part. The sensation, as the name suggests, the sensation का मतलब इस नाम से ही समझ आ रहा है, it involves senses. Okay, so you all know that our environment is full of stimulus. यहाँ पे various kinds of stimulus आपको मिल जाएंगे. For example, just put your hand on the table beside you, or wherever you are right now, and just smell from your nose anything right now. You just feel something. Okay, this feeling is nothing but sensation. Okay, so as I've written here the definition, it is the relationship between sensory stimulation and these sensory stimulation, how these sensory stimulation is registered by our sense organs. So आपके senses और आपके stimuli के बीच में क्या रिलेशनशिप डेवलप्ड हो रहा है, वो आपका सेंसेशन है. ओके, सो इट इज़ अ रिलेशनशिप आपके बिल्ड करते हैं आपके इन्वायरमेंट स्टिमुलस में, और कैसे आपकी सेंस ऑर्गन्स उस इन्वायरमेंट स्टिमुलस को रजिस्टर कर रही है. दिस प्रोसेस इज नोन एज सेंसेशन. ओके, सो हाउ दिस सेंसेशन अकर. ओके, कैसे ये सेंसेशन तक पहुंचता है, कैसे हम एनवायरनमेंट से लेते हैं. सो दिस प्रोसेस इज नोन एज transduction. Okay, I have written here, transduction is the process in which the physical properties of stimuli are converted into neural signals that are then transmitted to a brain via specialized sensory nerve. Now you will ask, or you should have a question in your mind, that why this physical properties of stimuli is converted into the neural signals. Neural signal is a keyword here in the transduction process. Neural signals is a keyword here. Why the physical properties of a stimuli should be converted into a neural signals, and I will give you one example to understand this, why it is converted into neural signal. For example, आप एक कल्चर में रह रहे हैं एंड यू हैव सम लैंग्वेज इन इट. ओके, जो आपको बहुत अच्छे से समझ आती है. ओके, सो आप उसी लैंग्वेज में बात करना प्रेफर करते हैं सबसे. इन द सेम वे आवर बॉडी interacts with the environment. Our body and our brain respect or interpret the information in the language of neural signals. It cannot understand the physical properties unless it is converted into neural signals. So neural signal, you can say, is the language of our brain. सिर्फ इन्हीं की बात मानता है, आपको और किसी की बात नहीं मानता ये. ठीक है. For example, you can see here, sorry, this in this diagram you can see that this butterfly, okay, this butterfly image is formed in the this butterfly's image is formed in the image is formed in your retina. Eye is retina. and this image comes to your retina in the form of light waves. Okay, but this retina converts these light waves into the neural signals so that your brain can interpret that information. Okay, so your brain have to interpret, your brain have to understand that this is butterfly and this is the color of butterfly and this is how it flies. So in order to understand the butterfly, this light wave should be converted into the neural signal, and this process of conversion of light waves into the neural signals is called as transduction. Later on, this sensation, when your brain अंडरस्टैंड इट एंड यू हैव लाइक योर ब्रेन ने पहले भी कभी देखा था बटरफ्लाई, तो आप अपनी लॉन्ग टर्म मेमोरी से लेकर आओगे, ओह दिस इज बटरफ्लाई. ओके, सो व्हेन द सेंसेशन ऑफ बटरफ्लाई इज जॉइंड विद द मीनिंग, वी विल कम इट दिस लेटर ऑन, व्हेन द सेंसेशन come with the meaning, it is called perception. Okay, and comes with perception. Okay, let's get this is example of sensation versus perception. And hearing your ringtone, now I am just telling you the basic of sensation versus perception, the basic. Okay, we will come it later on and we will be dealing in the detail, but for your understanding, for the basic understanding, like you hear your ringtone, this is sensation, but after hearing that ringtone you recognize, acha ye wala song hai. So when you recognize the ringtone, when you recognize a song, this is perception. And you are just hearing, your senses is working at that time, only senses are working, then you're hearing, not understanding, this is sensation. And when you're recognizing from your long term memory, acha ye wala song hai, that comes with perception. Okay, example number 2, hearing a voice. When you hear a voice, this is sensation, but when you recognize that this voice, okay ye meri mama ki आवाज़ hai, okay, then this is your perception. Okay, so this is the basic of sensation versus perception. Now we'll come to the very interesting sensation concept of threshold. Okay, what is a threshold? So a sensory threshold is the level of strength a stimulus must reach to be detected. Okay, so okay, I'll give you one example, that our environment is full of, I have told you that our environment is full of stimulus, but हमारे जो सेंस ऑर्गन्स होते हैं वो सारे स्टिमुलस को रजिस्टर नहीं कर पाते. हमारे सेंस ऑर्गन्स सिर्फ उन्हीं सेंसरी स्टिमुलेशंस को रजिस्टर कर पाते हैं जो एक थ्रेशोल्ड से क्रॉस होते हैं. ठीक है, तो एक सेंसरी थ्रेशोल्ड एक लेवल ऑफ स्ट्रेंथ है जो एक स्टिमुलस को क्रॉस करनी होती है ताकि वो हमारे सेंसरी ऑर्गन से डिटेक्ट हो पाए. ओके, एंड इट इज़ ऑफ टू टाइप्स, एब्सोल्यूट थ्रेशोल्ड एंड डिफरेंस थ्रेशोल्ड. Like absolute threshold is the smallest amount of a stimulus that we can detect 50% of the time. It is the smallest amount. Note that its smallest amount is the keyword for absolute threshold. Absolute threshold. Okay, 50% of the time जो smallest amount आपको चाहिए 50% of the time stimulus को detect करने के लिए, that is absolute threshold. इसमें I have given this example, this table here. फॉर एग्जाम्पल विजन के लिए द थ्रेशोल्ड इज़ अ कैंडल फ्लेम 30 माइल्स अवे. जब वो 30 माइल्स अवे हैं वो तभी आपको आपके विजन में एनकाउंटर होगी. ओके, व्हेन इट इज़ 50 माइल्स अवे वो नहीं होगी, व्हेन इट इज़ 3 माइल्स अवे वो नहीं होगी. ओके, सो दिस इज़ द थ्रेशोल्ड दैट इमेज हैव टू क्रॉस. दैट फॉर हियरिंग अ वॉच टिकिंग 20 फीट अवे. ठीक है, इफ़ अ वॉच इज टिकिंग 20 फीट अवे तो आपको वो सुनाई देगी, अदरवाइज नहीं. स्मेल अ ड्रॉप ऑफ परफ्यूम इन 6 रूम हाउस, दिस इज द थ्रेशोल्ड. टेस्ट अ टी स्पून ऑफ शुगर इन अ गैलन ऑफ वाटर. अगर आप टी स्पून से कम डालते हैं तो आपको शुगर का टेस्ट नहीं आएगा. ओके, and now the touch, a wing of fly on your cheek dropped 1 centimeter. So these are some threshold, absolute threshold. एक minimum क्या होना चाहिए किसी stimulus के लिए, ये वो है. इसमें एक और example I have written here, when sounds are just loud enough to hear but no louder. ओके, आपको साइंस जो है वो लाउडर चाहिए बट नॉट दैट इनफ. Okay, not louder, that they are at absolute threshold. And this concept of absolute threshold was studied by Frechner. Okay, next come to difference threshold. So you have understood that absolute threshold is the smallest amount. एक smallest amount आपको कितना चाहिए, तो तभी आपका वो environment stimuli आपके senses में तभी register कर पाएगा जब वो stimuli आपका absolute threshold या फिर उसके equal क्रॉस करता है. अगर वो बिलो है तो वो नहीं कर पाएगा. ओके, द सेकेंड इज difference threshold. Difference threshold is the minimum difference between the two stimuli. दो stimuli के बीच में जो minimum difference है वो required for it to be detected 50% of the time. So difference threshold study करा था हमारे वेबर ने, and he told that it is also called as just noticeable difference, JND. ठीक है, इट इज़ अ मिनिमम डिफरेंस. दो स्टिमुलाई के बीच में क्या मिनिमम डिफरेंस है कि वो 50% ऑफ द टाइम डिटेक्ट हो जाए. सो हेयर इन दिस वी हैव जस्ट compared the absolute threshold and difference threshold. So in this first absolute threshold picture, the boy is saying, I can see a candle flame 30 miles away, but not 31 miles away. Okay, if the candle flame is 30 miles away, he can see, but if it is 31 हो गया तो वो नहीं देख पाएगा, because the threshold for vision is 30 is threshold. ओके, तो एब्सोल्यूट मिनिमम द वीकेस्ट मिनिमम उसे 30 माइल्स अवे तो होना ही पड़ेगा. देन इज योर डिफरेंस थ्रेशोल्ड. ओके, द स्मॉलेस्ट अमाउंट ऑफ चेंज in a stimulus you can detect. For example, there are two patterns of color you have seen here, you are seeing here. So these patterns you can easily differentiate between this, it is green and blue, but this is not, this is a bit difficult. Okay, it is looking like blue and blue, but there is a mild difference. Okay, but we cannot sense. Okay, why we cannot sense? Because difference threshold is not there in the second picture. Okay, here you can see the difference because the smallest amount of change in a stimulus you can detect. This minimum difference is the difference threshold, that is JND. So this was just noticeable difference, and we have discussed about sensation and all about sensation and its threshold and types of thresholds, and later on we will discuss about the perception, and in the next video we'll be dealing next step, that is the signal detection theory and vigilance. Okay, so thank you, and just please share, like and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you very much to watch this video.